Well, how did you fit into the entertainment scene when you hit here in, 1913 was it?
Yes, well, I had bookings in private banquets and entertainments, and conventions, doing my musical monologues and things like that. And I didn't do much before the First World War because the First World War came not long after I did. I was with the Fort Garry Horse, but I got stricken with pleurisy pneumonia, so my horse went without me. I was struck off strength, and I re-enlisted and went over with a casualty clearing station and kept up my work there, organized concerts when I was over there, was farmed out to concert parties when we were stationed in the old country, and made a couple of trips up to London as guest artist on two famous concert parties, the Crimson Ramblers and the Roosters concert party. I've got easy enough to get leave on that because they were for the benefit of hospitals that were doing war, looking after war cases, you see, Charing Cross Hospital and places like that. And then I was able to organize a concert party and participate.
And in this way, you could bring, entertainment to the troops.
Entertainment to the troops. And I think perhaps the toughest thing, because, of course, I used to deal more on light humor than anything else, although I had a number of dramatic readings in the repertoire. But one of the toughest things was at one hospital we went to give a show, and the first 3 or 4 rows were either stretcher cases or seated in the front, newly blind. And golly, I tell you, when you looked out from behind the footlights and looked out over there and saw what was in front of you, it gave you an awful kick in the stomach. You didn't know just exactly how can you be funny to these newly blind people and these badly injured boys. But you took a grip of yourself and just went on, and it was marvelous. They still had their sense of humor and were just as appreciative as anybody else in the audience. But it was just when you first faced them, when you walked out on the stage and saw what your audience was, it gave you a queer feeling, and a little handicap to overcome at first.
When you returned from the war and came back to Canada, would be what, 1918, 1919?
1919.
And then...
As a matter of fact, I came back while the strike was on here. So, back to the musical monologues and the club dates and the banquets and the conventions, and then came little theater for an outlet. And the first thing I ever did for the Winnipeg Little Theater was in the old Queen's Theater, which was once a movie house, at the corner of Selkirk and Main, I think it was. And I played Shakespeare in The Dark Lady, the Sonnet. And it's rather interesting to know that the Honourable Gurney Evans was the beef eater, and his sister was Queen Lizzie. Those were real days of it. And then from then on, it went on to right through, did a lot of work with the Little Theatre, right on through till it became MTC, and worked with them too. And also with Rainbow Stage. Theatre was started here when you come to think of it now that we're celebrating our centenary, when the first military forces were stationed in Winnipeg to help keep law and order in the West. The officers' mess had a drama club, and I've read old cuttings of the plays they put on in some place on Main Street, upstairs there, around the vicinity of the City Hall. So that the theatre has always been in Winnipeg. And when it comes to real theatre, oh my, from 1913 on, the Walker Theatre, which is now the Odeon, it was seldom dark, and they had the cream of the companies and actors, not only of the American circuit, but the best that there was in the old country. Sir Frank R. Benson, and the Stratford-on-Avon, the original Stratford-on-Avon Shakespearean Company, used to come out here and put on a festival of Shakespeare. Sir John Martin Harvey in the Breed of the Treshams and the Tale of Two Cities, Sir Forbes Robertson, Lawrence Irvin, Cyril Maud, George Arliss in Old English, things like that. And the beauty of that was that sometimes when they needed a crowd scene, a mob or an army, as they used to call them in the trade, spear carriers, walk-ons, you had an opportunity of filling in. Sure. And that gave you a marvelous opportunity of studying the methods of voice production and how to move on a stage and how to get the best out of a line, the inflection of speech, how to really handle the vocal cords. And not only that, you learn there, especially with the British companies, the real value of bit parts. Because I think it's safe to say that the difference between British traditional acting and casting is that everybody in the company must be good. And though you may be the top banana, so to speak, in this play, maybe the next play you're called upon to acting, you'll have even less than a principal role, but they know that you can do justice to that part, and they know that and so they don't have one star that sticks out like a sore thumb, and then it doesn't matter about the others because this man is the drawing card, this man is, or this woman is the thing that the people are coming to see. They're coming to see, they take the attitude, they're coming to see the whole play. And particularly with Sir John Martin Harvey, I noticed, when working in crowds there, he would never upstage even the smallest bit actor. When that man had a few lines or a piece of business that was necessary to the play to do, the stage was his. You weren't even aware of Sir John Martin Harvey on the stage because he knew that was essential to the play, and that actor at the time had the stage.
You know, Bill, we were just looking through all the clippings with your plays that you were involved in, and the comment I noticed that is there and appears quite often is that Bill Sellers has the pace of the play, for example. You seem to sense this, that it's either slowing down or speeding up too much, your diction, and basically the professional aspect of your acting abilities is always cited in these articles. Do you think this goes back to the experience of those days?
Oh, definitely, definitely. The original instruction from George Stone and Herman Solomon, and then being able to work and study closely the greatest men of the day. You can learn far more by acute observation than you can by a poor drama coach.